You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a
BTS News Today, London, July 22nd, 2025. The morning sun timidly peeked through London's grey clouds as crowds began waving purple banners, wearing hoodies embroidered with golden magne, and lining up outside the BBC building. There had been no prior official announcement, no statement from HYBE. Yet somehow, a whisper had spread like wildfire among ARMY. Jungkook was going to perform at the BBC today, but one question lingered in the crisp, biting air. Where is Jimin? For the past 2 weeks, the public had been buzzing about the quiet yet viral reappearances of the iconic Jungkook duo. They'd been spotted together in New York, side by side in an LA dance studio, and even whispers of secret rehearsals in Seoul had trended globally. Some media outlets speculated a new collaboration. Others went bolder, a possible Jungkook world tour. But today, those hopes seemed to scatter as BBC cameras caught a single silhouette stepping out of a black vehicle. Jungkook, alone, no Jimin, no trademark smile, no subtle glances they used to exchange, as if the world outside never really mattered to them. From behind the glass of the live broadcast, Jungkook appeared composed. His face was calm, but his eyes held a storm. He greeted the host politely, bowing as always, but spoke little. There were long pauses between his answers, like someone holding their breath underwater. "Are you alone today?" the host asked gently, probing with care. Jungkook nodded. "Yes," he replied simply. "Today it's just me." No further explanation, no elaboration. The entire studio seemed to hold its breath. The host shifted the topic toward the song he was about to perform, but Jungkook's voice was barely audible as he said, "This song is for someone who couldn't be here today." The ARMY outside the building, who had been cheering moments before, now stared at the big screen with confusion and unease. Some even began to cry quietly. Since when did Jungkook look into the camera with so much pain and still say nothing? The performance began. Lights dimmed. Music flowed. Jungkook sang a brand new unreleased track titled No Light in July. It was a song about loss, longing, and someone who didn't leave by choice, but out of necessity. The lyrics hit deep. "You were the color in my silence. July's cold without your breath. I wait where we last danced, but your steps don't echo back." The world went still. For a moment, the BBC became the most emotional place on earth. Even the host was silent for over 5 seconds before continuing the program. The digital stream of the broadcast was flooded with comments from ARMY worldwide. "Why is Jungkook alone? Where is Jimin? What's going on? Is Jimin sick? Are they okay? Please tell us where Jimin is." But no one had an answer, until the camera backstage caught something strange. After the song ended and studio lights dimmed, Jungkook quietly walked off stage. A staff member offered him an umbrella. It had started to rain, but he refused. He stood in the rain, letting it soak his hair, his face, his shoulders. He closed his eyes. Then, a single sentence escaped his lips, caught faintly by a small camera hidden behind the curtain. Not intended for anyone, but just audible enough to silence anyone who heard it. "Hyung, you promised you'd be here." The world stopped. Hyung? Jimin? Media outlets scrambled to investigate. Was there a fight? A scheduling conflict? A management decision? But all the digging yielded no answers. Even Jimin's usually active Instagram, especially busy since his solo tour last month, was completely silent today. Not a word, not a sign, but a clue surfaced a few hours after the BBC broadcast ended. A photo posted by a fan from Korea. It showed Jimin walking alone in front of what looked like a small hospital in Gangnam. He wore a mask, a black hoodie, and appeared tired. No caption. No confirmation. Netizens speculated wildly. Some said Jimin was accompanying a family member. Others guessed he was recovering from something. But the most shocking rumor claimed a creative disagreement between Jungkook and Jimin regarding their collaborative project. Sources alleged that No Light in July was originally written by both of them, that the first verse was Jimin's, and the final chorus was meant to be a harmony. But in the final moments, Jimin backed out of the BBC performance. Why? An insider claimed that the night before the broadcast, Jungkook and Jimin had a long phone call. Its contents remain unknown. But afterward, Jimin sent one message to their manager: "Give the stage to him alone." That night, London grew darker. Not from the sky, but from millions of hearts left without clarity. Jungkook hasn't spoken since that. He only posted one picture on Instagram after the show. A hand holding a microphone, captioned with one word, alone. Jimin, on the other hand, remained completely silent. But the most unforgettable moment came at the end of the broadcast. As Jungkook stood on the dimming stage, eyes glassy with tears, he bowed toward the camera and whispered something, barely caught by the stage mic. "We started this together, please come back." And that night, it felt like even the sky above the BBC wept at ARMY, who have always known the strength of the bond between these two souls, could only hope that whatever had happened, whatever made the stage feel half empty, would be made whole again. That after No Light in July, a new song would be born, about forgiveness, reunion, and a love that never truly disappeared. Because if Jungkook is still waiting, then the world waits too. Not just for a comeback, but for a heart to return to another. And until that day comes, the world can only stare blankly at a fading screen, waiting for a voice that never arrived. Jimin's voice. Seoul. Jimin sat on a long bench by the hospital room window where his mother was being treated. His hands cradled a paper cup of ginger tea that had long gone cold. Outside, the rain fell softly. Its rhythm answered the longing he'd buried since that heart-wrenching phone call with Jungkook the night before. He stared at his phone. The BBC performance replay had just ended. He couldn't stop watching the part where Jungkook whispered, "We started this together, please come back." His eyes welled with tears. He bit his lip, holding back feelings he could no longer control that he wanted to be there. He truly did. But the night before the flight to London, a call from the hospital changed everything. "Your mother has complications. We recommend the family stay overnight," said the doctor. Jimin understood what that meant. His choice was no longer about a stage or a performance. It was about life and death. About the woman who raised him, who quietly attended his concerts, whose smile was the proudest in every ARMY crowd. That he called Jungkook that night, voice trembling. "Kook, I can't go. I'm at the hospital." Jungkook was silent for a long time. Then he replied softly, "You promised you'd stand next to me." "I know," Jimin whispered. "But my mother." "I know," Jungkook cut him off. But there was hollowness in his voice. "I'm sorry. I thought we were past all this. I thought tomorrow would be ours." Jimin fell silent. The sound on the phone felt oceans away. The rain outside his window and the rain in London were the same. But they weren't. "I trust you," Jungkook finally said. "But this time, I have to go alone." The call ended. Now, Jimin sat alone, hugging his knees in a quiet hospital room. His mother slept peacefully, for in her arm, the heart monitor beeped steadily. But Jimin's heart didn't. He opened a folder of voice memos. Inside was the demo of No Light in July, with two voices, his and Jungkook's. They wrote it on a hotel balcony in LA months ago that he remembered that night. Jungkook laughed when Jimin sang the chorus too high, then gently corrected it, saying, "You're too emotional, Hyung." But isn't that what made them different? That night felt perfect. But now, only echoes remain. Jimin played the demo. The hospital room grew emptier, and when the harmony came in, he couldn't hold it anymore. His tears poured freely.
Redemption ever came. I stopped asking for forgiveness, 'cause you should know only fools tread with the angels. Fear to go